Thanks for tuning in to the Cherry Garage. Today we're installing this massive winch onto this 80 series landcruiser. We got this 12,000 pound Apex Badland winch from Harbor Freight and this ARB front bumper on the 80 series landcruiser. This is the Japanese spec right-hand drive. Shouldn't change too much, but we're going to show you the whole process of installing this, not only physically on the bumper, but also wiring it all in and getting it all running right. Now before you get going anything with this project, there's a couple of other options for 12,000 pound winches, and all of them require having a standoff for this bumper because of the angles. I think there's actually kits you can buy for standoffs, but we're going with a collection of 3/8 inch hole cutout washers, about 11 of them for a 1/2 inch. We might need a little bit more, we'll see, but we got enough for it. And some longer bolts to match that. These are M10 by 1.5 bolts at a 60 millimeter length, grade 8.8. Some of these, the two on the bottom we're using at that length to be able to mount this, which is the, what was it called? Fair lead, I thought.
Well,
whatever this is.
call it both.
Fair lead. We're gonna mount that directly to the mounting bolts of it to keep it in line on the lower side of the bumper, and that requires these lengths. The ones on top don't need to be as long, so we're gonna cut them a little shorter.
Yep.
So we got, obviously we got the bumper up on these two sawhorses, make everything easier for ourselves. Got everything lined up with the spacers on there and the bolts just in to make sure everything's lined up. Now we're putting thread lock on everything because we can't really fit the lock washer on there, and to make sure nothing comes loose. So we're gonna be putting the one with the fair lead on the bottom first, and then we're gonna take the top two out and put the thread lock on and put it back in. And this unit should be installed on this bumper, and then we can put it on and do the wiring.
Alright, so now that we got everything physically mounted, we're going to figure out how we're going to wire things electrically, just so before we mount it we kind of have a game plan where we want these cables ran. So, off the unit here, there's a little wire pass-through that we're going to use here. So this is our positive, this is going to be our negative. We're actually going to run this on the other side because it's a little more difficult. We're going to do that ahead of time. So that attaches right here. And we're going to follow the same path that this is going through the bumper. Now over on the landcruiser, what this passage is going to look like is, here's your battery right up front. It's pretty convenient. So we'll be attaching here with our negative, over here with our positive. And the cable is going to run down through here, you can see on camera, which is going to drop us out right through here. And this is basically going to be where that pass-through was that we just looked at on the bumper. So it'll be somewhat straightforward for us, and we're going to get to it.
One thing to mention is the switch, the kill switch. And since that power line runs all the way up here, we can put the kill switch actually in the engine bay somewhere. It's just a main power switch for it, and that connects power to it and off of it. I think it might be a circuit breaker too, but I'm not sure. Either way, we'll be putting that somewhere that's easily accessible so that thing's not always having power to it and draining the battery. Pretty simple. If you want to use this thing, you just pop it in and turn it on. Probably you can have a remote storage in here and pull the remote out of it. here we are with the hardware install. It's a very close fit, you can see right here, but it does fit, which is the amazing part. So we ended up using exactly 15 of those washers each. They are the fender washers, and you still have access to the clutch right here real easily. That's a great part. Now you have the option, like they said on the box, that you can relocate this control box, put it somewhere else completely. That's just kind of a hassle. Since it fits, it's good to go. So we're gonna get to installing the wiring on this. One thing I think we failed to point out real quick was that we cut out the lip of this bumper a little bit below, not flush, but below this fair lead.
It's on the back side,
Yeah.
you can kind of see where my finger's touching.
Yeah, just cut it below it, and we covered it with paint so it wouldn't rust. So this now won't rub on anything sharp, it's just this. And this is all good to go. We're really happy with how that came out. Now we're gonna get to the wiring, which will be pretty simple. All right, we got it fully installed, all electric hooked up. We'll show you real quick how we wired it, but it works great. Check it out. So we got it hooked up, mainline power coming off the power side of the battery, down to the switch, and this is your main switch. And that feeds down, coming off the pre-installed section of the winch. And the ground side comes up, same route, run to the negative terminal. We didn't have a really good connection like this one, but it is connected and good. If you have these, they're great. These little extra terminal adapters. Now, you still have access to the clutch right here, and right behind that, you can see there's this little rubber door. You open that up, and there's access to plug in the remote, and there's also a switch right above it, on off, and that allows you to do wireless mode. So if you have it switch to the on position, then you can do wireless. First you turn it on. Now it has power. And you can grab your remote, you hold it down to 3 seconds, and then it'll blink for wireless. And it's good to go. To store it, all you do is just pull a little bit of tension on it and feed it in and let it go sideways. And it should be there good. You can give it a little tap just to make sure it's tight. That's it. It's fully installed. Hope this helped you out. If you have this set up, let us know. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe our videos and check out our merchandise. If you buy it, it helps us out a lot. Lets us do more projects like this.
It works! In case you guys ever get stuck.